All right, so it is fight week. We are 2 days away from Saturday the 18th of January, which means we are 2 days away from UFC 246, which means we are 2 days away. Nearly dropped my laptop. We are 2 days away from the return of Conor McGregor, who obviously faces off against Donald Cerrone. Um, Now, if you're familiar with my channel and you're familiar with me and what I do, generally speaking, I am very inconsistent. I tend to start making videos during fight week, and what I usually do is I pick out 2 or 3 fights that I'm really interested in, and I'll give you guys a short breakdown and a prediction. Generally speaking, I get my breakdown wrong, which means by default my prediction is generally way off the mark. Now, if you place any bets off of what I say, then you're the fool, not me, because I'm just a fan. I'm not trying to be an expert. On this occasion, I'm looking at the undercard of UFC 246, and to be honest, I'm very underwhelmed. Now, there's a lot of names on the undercard, but there's no fight on the undercard that I would say has high stakes. What do I mean by that? There's nothing here that has major title connotations. There's no fight here where I'm seeing like a young up and coming guy or girl taking that step up and fighting real tough opposition. There's no fight here where there's major bad blood. There's no fight here stylistically where I look at the two fighters and say to myself, man, I can't wait to see these two fight each other, because I literally have no idea what's going to happen here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make 2 videos. I'm going to make this video where I'm just going to talk a little bit about the event, a little bit about Conor McGregor and Cowboy coming into this fight. And then I'll do a separate video where I break it down and give you guys my prediction. So I suppose this is a good place to start. The event itself. One thing that I felt, and I've used this word just a minute ago, but I feel underwhelmed by UFC 246. I don't really feel excited, and it's because the main reason is what I've just said to you guys. There's nothing on the undercard that makes me want to stay up till 5, 6 in the morning to watch this event. The second thing is, even the main event, the stakes aren't high in terms of there's nothing on the line when it comes to Conor McGregor against Donald Cerrone. It's just a fun fight. I'm definitely going to watch it, but once they've had this fight, there's no next step for either of them in terms of, I can clearly see, all right, if Conor wins, that's his next fight. If Donald Cerrone wins, that's his next fight. It's just a fight for two guys on that day. If that, I hope I'm making myself clear. Now, with regards to Donald Cerrone, he's a guy that is a legend. Let me just start by saying this. He's a legend. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. He's a guy that has literally achieved everything there is to achieve as a mixed martial artist, apart from winning a major title in a major organization. That's the only thing that's eluded him throughout his career. Why is that? I think with Cowboy, there's what I call a deferral of responsibility. I feel like he's kind of hid behind the persona of the Cowboy rather than understanding what his shortcomings are as a mixed martial artist and trying to focus on developing those skills in order to be the best version of himself. I feel like he's tried throughout his career to please others by being the guy that will take any fight at any time, rather than trying to please himself by giving himself the best opportunity to become the world champion. And we all do it. I do it. You've probably done it watching this. And I'll give you an example. Me, I'm fat. I'm overweight, right? So a deferral of responsibility for me would be, you know what? You know why I'm fat? It's because I don't have dumbbells, a barbell, a bench, and kettlebells. Let me buy all of that equipment, put it in my garage, and then I'm going to start working out, and then I'll get into shape. when really I'm sat here eating cakes, chocolate, drinking cans of Coke and beer. Like, I could just not eat all of that stuff before I bought all of this equipment that's going to make me get into shape. And the reason why I'm talking about this is I saw Donald Cerrone after he'd won a fight. I think it was against Ali Quinta in the cage, and he was stood there with his son in his hands, saying how he's got a new focus now that he's had a kid, and he was telling us how he's never been so focused, and he's on his way now. He's gonna go and win a world championship. He understands what this is all about. Clearly, after that, he lost 2 fights. Fine, he was fighting killers, but the fact still remains, like, it shouldn't have taken you to have a son for you to understand what you need to do to give yourself the best chance of becoming a world champion. So rather than taking fights at short notice for no reason, rather than being the guy, oh, I'll fight, it was almost as if he was more in love. He's more in love with the persona of Cowboy than Donald Cerrone, which for me has been kind of evident in the way he's been conducting himself this week during the interviews that he's been having. That's just his personality, that's fine. But I don't see someone that is honed in, focused on the task at hand. And the task at hand is basically the biggest fight of his life. If he wins this fight, it could mean so much for him. And I think from a mental, psychological standpoint, I don't see a man that is coming here to win. I see a man that is at the end of his career, and he's using this opportunity to enjoy the moment and take it all in because he knows it's coming towards the end of his career. Now, obviously, I don't know him, and I could be 100% wrong. This is just my opinion. This is just what I see when I watch stuff, and obviously, I don't know him personally, so I could be way off the mark. I'm just sharing how I see all of this, basically. Having said all that, Donald Cowboy Cerrone can't be taken lightly. There's a reason why he's been fighting at this level for this long. There's a reason why he's been in the top 5 and top 10 of both the lightweight and welterweight division, whichever one he's chosen to operate at. He is a top caliber mixed martial artist. And one of the most dangerous things in combat sports is a man that's got nothing to lose. Ask Anthony Joshua when he fought Andy Ruiz. Ask Luke Rockhold when he fought Michael Bisping. Nobody is coming into this fight expecting Cowboy Cerrone to win. Ask Nate Diaz when he fought Conor McGregor the first time. Nobody is expecting Cowboy to win. The pressure is entirely off Cowboy. And perhaps the attitude that he's coming into this fight with is the best way to be and can produce the best result for him. I don't know, maybe my perception of him before taking this fight, of him, me wanting him to be more focused and more honed in on his own career and trying to improve as a fighter to get to that level to win a title, because I've always wanted him to be a champion because I've always liked him, I've always been a fan. He just comes across as such a nice person. Like watching him on Joe Rogan, the way he tells a story, just the way he articulates himself, just the aura he gives off, I've always rooted for him. And it's just frustrated me that he's fallen at hurdles where I think, I don't know, I just felt like if you were a little bit more focused, you could have won that fight. But who am I? Like, I've never trained a day in my life. Do you know what I mean? I could be completely wrong. I probably am completely wrong. But I suppose I'm frustrated with Cowboy because I like him and I've always wanted him to win a title. And yeah, that I'm just kind of beating a dead horse at this at this moment now. I just keep saying the same thing over and over again. That's my perception of Cowboy. But going into this fight itself, I feel like he feels like the pressure's off, and I'm just not sure what version of Cowboy we're gonna get. I just don't know whether we're gonna get someone that's on it, or we're gonna get someone that starts slow and wilts and gets finished in the opening round or two. Moving on to Conor McGregor, he's been talking about how this is a season for him, and this reminds me of a box. This whole event reminds me of a boxing event. This is a guy having a comeback fight, which you see so often in boxing. Even in boxing, you'll see a guy having a comeback fight, and it won't be at his real weight class. If he's having a comeback fight, it might be it might be a catch weight, a few pounds over the weight class that he actually fights at, if that makes sense. So, for example, Floyd Mayweather fought at 147 pounds. If he has I don't even know if this ever happened, but imagine he was off for a year or two and then he came back and had a comeback fight. It might have been at 153 pounds, 152 pounds, something random like that. Obviously in MMA, the weight classes are a lot more wider than they are in boxing. But the reason why I say this reminds me of that is because this is a top caliber opponent that Conor McGregor is going to fight, but it's a guy that he should beat. If they're both having their best day, Conor McGregor usually beats Cowboy Cerrone 9 times out of 10. The fact that they're fighting at 170 pounds, it's because it's about the fight. The fight itself, beating Donald Cowboy Cerrone at 155 pounds does nothing. It does nothing for his Conor McGregor in terms of him trying to attain a title shot. So why cut the weight? I can understand the logic behind that. I remember when this got announced, I was thinking to myself, I even made a video saying, why they didn't get 170 pounds? It doesn't make sense. However, now that I look at it, I listen to what people have said, you know, like Conor McGregor's trainers and Conor McGregor himself. It does make sense. It's a comeback fight, and Conor McGregor, let's face it, he's such a big star. Like, he can probably just demand a title shot and he'll get given one at this stage. So him winning a fight against Donald Cowboy Cerrone does nothing to strengthen that case for a title shot. So we're here now, we're fighting at 170 pounds, Conor McGregor against Donald Cerrone. What do I make of Conor McGregor's demeanour? That Mac Life interview that he did where he was standing on the mat, I found it like he was, I felt like he was a little bit on edge. And I don't know whether he had just been training or he just wanted to get it over and done with. I don't know how, I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I didn't know what version of Conor McGregor that was. And then when I saw him sit down with Ariel Helwani, he seemed really relaxed. And he seemed as if he was just going through the motions. And I was just getting this sense that, is he taking Cowboy too lightly? Is he sitting there just assuming that all he has to do is turn up to beat Cowboy? But then I heard Dominic Cruz talk to Ariel Helwani about Conor McGregor and a conversation that he had with Conor McGregor. And off the back of that, and the stuff that Dominic Cruz said, so check it out yourselves, but the stuff that Dominic Cruz said to Ariel Helwani during that interview on the Helwani show, if Conor McGregor's convinced Dominic Cruz, who had that conversation with Conor McGregor, then I'm convinced as well. So I feel like Conor McGregor he may be telling the truth when he said he's found his love for the sport again, and he's fell in love with training again. And if that's the case, then he's going to win this fight all day long. And when I look at Conor McGregor and the way people talk about Conor McGregor, I just find it like amazing that people sit there and say to us that, Conor McGregor's a one-trick pony. Cowboy needs to grapple. Cowboy needs to take him down. How many fighters take Conor McGregor down and keep him down? Like, Conor McGregor is an elite MMA fighter. Whether you like him or hate him, he is one of the best to have done it over the last couple of years. His record speaks for itself. I just don't know whether... I'm kind of getting more into the fight now, and I was trying to stay away. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that, what I was going to say next, for my fight breakdown video. But this event isn't your general Conor McGregor event. It's not got the hype. It hasn't got the high stakes. It hasn't got the buzz. It hasn't got the aura of what we're used to when it comes to Conor McGregor. And it just has that feeling of, all right, this is a comeback fight. Let's wet our toes, see how we feel. And the next one's going to be a big one. But a lot of people have fallen. Taking a comeback fight lightly. And Cowboy is no slouch. So there's an opportunity here for an upset. Apart from that, the dynamic between the two of them is just nothing but respect, which adds to the kind of, I don't know if lethargic is the right word, but the low-key kind of feeling around this whole event. And I'm going to watch it. I'm obviously going to watch it. But it's almost like, right, let's get Saturday out of the way. And then there's going to be a proper fight announced. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what this video is. I'm not really sure what to title it even. I'm just kind of giving you guys my opinion about Cowboy coming into this fight and Conor coming into this fight. It's not really very focused on anything, kind of like I've been saying about Cowboy. But yeah, I just wanted to share my views about the two of them with you guys. This is the first time I've recorded a video in my room, so or a video as in a video we're there in my room. So I bought myself a tripod, which you can probably see in the mirror behind me here, somewhere here. And this is the mic that I always use to record videos. But the problem that I've got is I don't know how to get the footage from there and the audio from here and edit it into one video, so it's one clear, concise piece of online content. But I'm going to start worrying about that now, and I'll catch you guys in my fight breakdown video.